The Whispers in the Walls. Sarah Jenkins had always dreamed of owning a Victorian-era home. When she stumbled upon the listing for 42 Willow Lane, she couldn't believe her luck. The sprawling 3-story house with its intricate gingerbread trim and towering turret was everything she'd ever wanted, and at a price she could actually afford. The real estate agent seemed nervous during the tour, rushing through rooms and avoiding Sarah's questions about the home's history. But Sarah was too enamored to notice. She signed the papers that same day. On her first night in the house, Sarah awoke to a faint sound. It was barely audible, a soft susurration, like wind through leaves. But there was no breeze, and the sound seemed to come from inside the walls themselves. Sarah dismissed it as old pipes or her imagination playing tricks in an unfamiliar place. As days passed, Sarah settled into her new home. She loved its quirks, the creaky floorboards, the ornate moldings, the way sunlight filtered through stained glass windows. But the sounds persisted, growing louder and more distinct. What had started as indistinct whispers became a chorus of muffled voices. They ebbed and flowed like waves, sometimes fading to near silence, other times swelling until Sarah could almost make out words. She told herself it was just the house settling, but doubt gnawed at her. Sarah began to dread nightfall. In the quiet dark, the voices grew more insistent. They seemed to call her name, pleading for something she couldn't understand. Sleep became elusive, and dark circles formed under her eyes. Desperate for answers, Sarah researched the house's history. She discovered that it had changed hands frequently over the years, with no family staying longer than a few months. Digging deeper, she found unsettling stories, tales of disappearances, of residents driven mad by unseen forces. One night, after weeks of sleepless terror, Sarah snapped. The voices had reached a fever pitch, a cacophony of anguished cries that seemed to vibrate through her very bones. Grabbing a hammer from her toolbox, she stumbled to the wall where the sounds were loudest. "Shut up!" she screamed, swinging the hammer with all her might. "Leave me alone!" The plaster cracked and crumbled under her frenzied blows. As chunks fell away, Sarah's hammer struck something that wasn't wood or plaster. It was soft, yielding. Heart pounding, Sarah peered into the hole she'd made. What she saw defied reason. Pressed against a translucent, membranous barrier were faces, dozens of them, distorted and pale. Their mouths moved in silent screams, eyes wide with terror and pleading. Sarah stumbled back, her mind reeling. This couldn't be real. It had to be a hallucination brought on by stress and lack of sleep. But as she watched, horrified, the membrane began to bulge outward. It stretched thin, pulsing like some grotesque bubble. With a wet, sickening pop, it burst. Emaciated arms reached through the opening, grasping at the air. The voices, no longer muffled, filled the room with a chorus of agonized wails. Sarah turned to run, but icy fingers closed around her ankles. She crashed to the floor, clawing desperately at the hardwood as she was dragged backward. Her screams joined the cacophony as she was pulled into the wall, the plaster ceiling shut behind her. The house fell silent once more. Weeks later, a young couple moved in, excited about their new home's historical charm and surprisingly low price. As they unpacked, the wife paused, cocking her head to one side. "Do you hear that?" she asked her husband. "It sounds like whispers." And deep within the walls, a new voice joined the chorus, its pleas indistinguishable from the rest. If you like this story and want to hear more scary stories from yours truly, then don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell to get notifications when your Valley Ghoul uploads new stories to chill you to the bone. Like, what else have you got to do? You know you love it. Sweet dreams, sweeties. Until next time.